we go through this as a mum. I know I lost a little girl myself 30 plus years ago who died at birth. And I know every anniversary I still go off to do my own rituals. But what if the dads? Do our men folk grieve the same way as we do? I think one of the things that we have to look at is that, we as women, we're quite relational in our grief and we find somebody else to talk to. But men grieve very much shoulder to shoulder. Give a man a task and he'll actually work his way through his grief in so many different styles. I think of the dad one night describing the fact that he always picks up loose coins when he sees them on the street and puts them in a jar. And I said, "Oh, why do you do that?" And he said, "Well," he says, "it reminds me of my son. He was always looking for loose change. And it's a nice way to make a connection." Or another who has ended up, he'd lost his daughter, and I remember being in their place, big open span shed in the yard, arriving back some time later, and had a blockwork, doors, windows. And I said to him, "You've been busy?" And he said, "Yes, I have." He says, "There's plenty of tears in those blocks." I think when we look at it, we realise that we grow up in a culture here in Ireland where, boys were told big boys don't cry. And they were also told they were the men of the house now. I think we can do injustice to our men folk often by actually assuming that they're going to be the strong one and not giving them enough time to deal with the emotions of their loss. Many dads think their way through loss rather than talk it. They do so silently. They build their own rituals. And the key thing is that if we can work together as a pair, as a couple, to actually be able to communicate what it is like for each other as we go along the way. The Swedes tell us that there's two phases to this grief, that the first is intense pain and the second is missing. And I think when we're in intense pain, we're inclined to spare each other rather than actually have the communication of being able to say, I know what it's like for me, but how has it been for you? I think in time, as we move through our loss of this precious child that we've lost, that we can actually come into the place of being able to have that conversation. It may not be in the first year. Indeed, it mightn't even be in the second. It could be 3 or 4 years down the road before we have that conversation. But it's really important because it allows us to work on the same page together, to move forward, to come to a place where we can accommodate our child's loss.